Okay, I'd like to call to order the Village of Lake Bluff Sustainability and Community Enhancement Ad Hoc Committee for Tuesday, August 19th. Can I get a roll call, please?
Absolutely. Member Busio?
Present.
Member Hance?
Here.
Member Twitchell?
Present.
Member Mengelkock?
Here.
And Chair Renner.
Here.
All right, we have a quorum.
Okay. First up is consideration of the May 2025 meeting minutes. Does anyone have any edits, changes? Okay, hearing none. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Next up, we have time set aside for non-agenda items. I believe we have someone here who would like to speak. Yes. Go up to the podium and introduce yourself. Name, address, social security number.
But yes, it does.
Maybe not the number. 448 Gurney Avenue, George Russell. Thanks for giving me a few minutes of your time this evening. I had distributed a letter on the podium. I don't know if, probably other than Marietta, maybe you've all had a chance to quickly read it, but it's a letter that I drafted back in May and sent to village staff, hoping that we could send some communication out to residents to help them understand how poor mulching can lead to the death of a tree. So I'm here tonight to advocate for one of our community's greatest natural assets, and that's our trees. Next to the lake, I think the first two things I think about in the village are the lake and our trees, our wonderful trees. There's a very poor landscaping practice which is becoming very prevalent in our community, and that poor landscaping practice is the over-mulching of our trees. I know I'm preaching to the choir with all of you, because I'm sure all of you know this. It is a known scientific fact that mulch placed too deep over a tree's roots, or mulch placed directly against a tree's bark, or mulch placed within the root collar of a tree can lead to the premature death of a tree. These poor mulching practices have become more pervasive as the wealth of our community has increased and more residents utilize the services of landscaping companies, many of whom I fear do not have a clue about mulch and what it can do if improperly applied. I got just a dozen slides showing that's what we don't want to happen, what some people call volcanoing a tree, where you pile mulch up directly against the bark of a tree. Next. And then the second exhibit is just an exhibit to, which I felt should be in any letter that we send to residents, that explains what the root collar of the tree is, and it's the area between the roots themselves and where the trunk actually starts above ground. And then we have 12 quick photos I took walking around town, clearly showing that mulch is being piled against the tree trunks.
Oh my God. Oh boy. Yeah, I've seen him do it. Wow.
And that's the last one. This last one is interesting because it's not actually mulch. The landscapers, I'm assuming it was the landscapers, just took all the earth that they dug up and piled it up around the tree trunk. What's really worrisome is we're planting new trees every year, and a lot of these new younger trees are getting completely inundated with mulch. That picture there, I think that's like 16 inches high up on the tree. And I think a lot of residents, I don't think understand this. So, and it's with as much stress as our trees are under with the environmental conditions, we shouldn't be doing something that causes the death of trees directly. And we need to get the word out. So I'm asking that this committee adopt a formal recommendation to the village board that indicates that the village should start a proactive communication campaign to reduce poor mulching practices. I think we need to be aggressive with an educational campaign because it is absolutely silly that these ever-growing poor mulching practices are leading to the death of our trees. Our trees are having problems enough with climate change and various diseases. The letter that you have there, I had drafted back in May, and I had an exchange with Drew, and I said, Drew, if I draft a letter and go around and identify everyone with poor mulching practices, can you send it out? And I thought I had an agreement. Anyway, I walked the entire east side of the village at first and identified 220 homes, not 220 trees, 220 homes where there was clearly aggressive poor mulching practices. That doesn't include a lot of areas where there shouldn't have been mulch up against the bark at a very shallow depth. I sent it in. Staff responded back, well, why don't we just do a door hanger? I responded, listen, we need something that explains to the residents why this causes the problems. We just can't do a few sentence door hanger with vanilla language. Unfortunately, the whole summer went by and nothing has moved forward on it. So I thought I would come to this committee because I think you're the committee that can, the very esteemed group that you are with so much power and clout, you can develop a written recommendation to send to the village board explaining that we need to do something. As I mentioned, the wealth in our community is getting such that almost everyone is hiring a landscaper. I mean, you can drive down the street any day and see 50 or 75 trucks just on the east side of town. And I don't really think a lot of them know what they're doing. They're just duplicating what other people have done. So I think in addition to a really clear letter, which at this point, I think it would be most effective if we wait until next early spring before the new mulch season starts. Not now, because then there's really not going to be too much more mulching going on. And then I think, maybe it'll sink in with some folks. In addition to doing that, I think that we need to prepare a separate handout for the landscapers that explains what the problem is, and we can have Public Works employees, just one of them, could drive around in a couple hours, several days, early in the spring, and hand one to every single landscaper to get the word out. We could then follow that up with a communication in one of our quarterly newsletters that contains more than a few sentences, that again reminds the people. It's a practice that needs to stop. The trees are suffering enough. So I'm asking for your support to adopt some sort of motion to maybe help move this thing forward so that early next spring we can attack it in earnest. You all seem to be very impatient, so if you could see, I'd like to show 7 or 8 more slides. And I'm sorry to the group here. I wasn't going to come tonight, but it said it was a staff report, and I thought I wouldn't be interrupting anybody. So 2 more minutes.
Of course.
So flip on to the next couple pictures. Next one. These are pictures of some of our very mature trees in town. Almost all of them, I think, were oaks. I don't know how many of you have been walking around and looking up, but our oaks are in serious trouble. Just keep flipping through those slides, a couple seconds each slide. The Ravine Park area has a huge area west of the Moffett Bridge where a whole group of them have died in the last year and a half. A huge area in Crabtree Farms has gone under. And as you walk around the community and look up, the death seems to be occurring from the top of the trees on down. And I've lived here for 38 years, and I'm personally convinced that the rate of death has increased way beyond what should be occurring naturally or due to, I hear the line, oh, the trees are old, they're going to die, but they shouldn't be dying at the rate that they're dying. And I think maybe the village needs to invest in next year's budget cycle in a true expert, a dendrologist that has the passion for trees, that can give us some advice. I mean, whether or not we can save them, I don't know, because a lot of the diseases are very difficult to deal with, I understand from the little bit of reading that I do. But I also ask that maybe the committee consider recommending to the board that they consider hiring experts with a passion, not someone that has taken one course, nothing against someone that's taken one course to understand about trees, but they're too important to our community. So thanks for your time.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
good.
So while not formally on the agenda, I'm supportive of us making a motion to forward this recommendation up to the board from the SEC, put it on a cover letter from us, and attach this. Do I?
Yes, I just want to add,
Just something to note on that, just because it isn't on the agenda and it sounds like George is looking for that for the spring, it may be a good idea to add that to the next
That's
SEC
fine, too.
agenda, just
Yeah.
for,
Okay.
so that it can be further discussed.
Okay, well, let's still open it up. Anyone?
you know what, I like George's plan of first we start with residents, then we educate public works, then we educate landscapers to kind of blanket the whole area because, you know, I was looking at the slides, those volcano trees, they were beautifully edged, no weeds, so you get the feeling that people believe they're doing something good. And so the other thing that came to mind is fall cleanup. You know, that's a big time of year for the landscapers to come out and do all kinds of things. So maybe sooner than the spring, maybe something in the Friday letter.
You could
I mean,
take-
that's a
take-
Friday
take-
letter.
Take some away this.
Yeah,
spring,
just
this fall.
scoop it away
No.
from the bottom.
I noticed that some of these appear to be in the parkways. These are village.
All of these are in public. I only took pictures of the public right away.
So I'm just thinking here, I'm not saying anything to that extent, but I obviously, a long time ago, picked out a tree from the village and shared the cost and got it planted. And what I noticed is that the village came through without notifying me to prune the tree, without like, hey, we're gonna prune the tree, do you wanna know what we're gonna do? They just did it, because it's a parkway tree and they have the authority to do that. So would they have the authority to scoop away mulch while they're trimming trees? I mean, it seems to me that the authority within a parkway for a parkway tree is, there's a certain amount of influence. And they also tag the tree. So, I mean, there's a shared ownership there. It's not necessarily just the owner's tree. So I just bring that up for discussion maybe in our next meeting. And I'm also thinking of, you know, something simple like image of a volcano under a tree and said, no volcanoes with an X through it or something, and those are small, and you just stick them in the mulch.
Stick them as they come.
Yeah.
along. Yeah,
I mean, not on a personal property, but on the parkway,
right,
just a publicity.
yeah.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
even a tree that's been scraped away and a little sign that says,
Right.
tree should look like this.
Yeah, or volcanoes kill.
Yeah.
I think, Marietta, to your point, I think a lot of the volcanoes grow because of the edging. Like, I think the landscape crews edge and then just sort of throw the stuff. So after you do that for 5, 6 years, you know, it grows. So I think educating landscapers is important. And what you were saying reminded me, Lake Forest did a big recycling campaign, and when people put the wrong stuff in their recycling, they got an oops tag. And so they explain, you know, this is what happened, why we're not taking what, you know, it's a way to educate.
I just saw
In a
one of
friendly-
those, I saw, we're doing that now too, an orange sticker on the recycling tub. There was someone that put styrofoam in on North Avenue, and they had taken the styrofoam off, set it on the lawn, and they put an orange sticker on the recycling tub.
So that's great. So
So,
that
yeah.
could be the sort of thing, if
Yeah.
the crew moves it, you could put in their mailbox or something, you know, by the way. I also know that we have talked about many of these kinds of issues as well, like, you know, leaving your clippings down or not blowing all the leaf
Yes.
litter. So one idea maybe would be to go to new media and ask if students would want to do a set of little PSAs, you know, 30-second PSAs on 3 or 5 of these issues. And then, anyway, that would be a way to bring our students in and then be able to do broader education.
All right, let's put this on the agenda for a full discussion, next meeting maybe?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and one last point, and George, you probably researched this too, but, you know, a lot of these are bringing in outside mulch, and you don't know where that's coming from and what diseases it has bringing with it.
Right.
And that also can be really detrimental to the trees as, you know, they're bringing in bugs and parasites and things and disease. Because a lot of those mulches from trees that were taken down that were diseased. So it's just not a
And there are
good
some
practice.
guidelines around that, so they should be following that for certain stuff.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much, George.
And
Yeah,
I
thank you.
apologize in advance, but I will not be here next month.
Sure.
If your
Okay.
meeting is the same time every, yeah.
Okay.
I'll be out of the country, so.
Okay.
That's great.
Yes, let me just eject it for you so I don't break anything.
Well, we're also looking at next spring for some of this, as you recommended. We could make it the next month after if you'd prefer to be here.
I would like to be here, just to
Okay.
listen.
Oh,
Not that
yes.
I know, I am not an expert.
No, you've
That's
got it, you
okay.
kicked it off.
We can move it
Those
to,
three are
we
more
can move it to
knowledgeable
October.
about this than I am,
October work?
but I have I will confirm that.
Okay, all right,
I think so.
okay.
But I feel like I just saw something about this. Did something get covered on this? Like, I feel like I just saw something this week.
Was
on
it in the
this.
Friday letter? I don't think so. But,
No, I don't know. I honestly was like, oh yeah, I just saw this.
Okay,
I'm not aware.
Okay.
thanks, George, good to see you.
bye.
Okay, was there anyone else on a non-agenda item? If not, I think part of the general business, we have a motion to approve a change in the order tonight to move the growing native habitat Lake Bluff update to the next agenda item. All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Okay.
What is the email?
Good evening. The three of us are here with the group that got the certification from the National Wildlife Federation. So we're going to state our names and then we're going to talk just for a few minutes.
Okay.
My name is Luciana Titanic. I'm at 410 East Prospect.
I'm Lisa Schwarz. I'm at 316 Forest Knoll, which is outside the village, unincorporated Lake Bluff, but it does incorporate District 65, which is what our group incorporates.
And I'm Annie Anderson from 455 Sunset Terrace.
All right. So as you have probably heard, we got the certification to be a National Wildlife Federation habitat certified community. We have a simple copy of our certificate that we can pass around if you want to look at it.
Of course.
And we want to thank you for your support of this effort. We came here just a few months ago, and it just started bubbling up. Obviously, the work started much earlier. Some of these guys started planting the native garden at Artesian Park before I even moved to Lake Bluff a few years ago. So it had been a while coming, and this was a great way to solidify the community, bring more people in. So it's been a really good effort. We're really thankful for your support and for the village board's support. We will be asking the village for a proclamation of the certification. That also kind of gets the word out even more, and it counts points to our renewing the certification every year. And we will also be asking for the village board to display a sign of the certification, hopefully along with the signs that we have for being a bird city and tree city. We're not totally sure where those signs are in the village, if anybody knows.
Downstairs in the lobby of I think, in the village hall.
In
as
the
you come
village
I
hall?
think, Yeah.
Okay,
Maybe we'll get those out again.
maybe, yeah, we were thinking somewhere out, like out.
Don't we have Tree City USA signs along the road?
Tree City USA is on Green Bay, I've seen.
Oh,
It sure is, as you enter the village. It'd be lovely to have it show all three.
It would
It
be
would
lovely to
be, it
have
would
all
be
three.
great. Yeah, yeah. So we'll be approaching the village board about that. The sign looks kind of like this, which is also kind of similar to the signs that people have, can put on their
Looks
property when
great.
they're certified. We can pass this around too.
Yeah, thank you.
There are two size options. One is kind of similar to that, 9 inches by 12 inches, and there's a bigger one, 2 feet by 3 feet size. So we can, when we approach the village board, we can discuss those details. And we wanted to say, you know,
That's a nice one, yeah.
some of this group has been working on this for a while, and this has brought a lot of us together, and this is just the beginning for us. We have found new friends through this, and the community is just growing. We have been at the farmers market several times, and people stop by our table. It's great conversation, it's great education, so we want to keep doing that. And we want to partner with you all in the efforts that you are undertaking. So in the vein of, you know, George's request, we are totally on board with that. Whatever we can do to help further education efforts, working together with this committee, we would love to partner with you. So we're open to that partnership.
Great.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for all your efforts. Really appreciate it.
Yes.
Congratulations.
You know what, I have a question, though, before you all leave. There's a great story about how this happened, how Lake Bluff became certified with a National Wildlife Federation. So if you could just give a quick overview of what you had to do to earn points, because the whole community, all the residents, many, many residents in Lake Bluff were involved.
Yes.
So if you could kind of maybe give that quick overview.
Of course. Do you want to start with how the group got started?
Well, not the group, just the certification
Just the
process.
certification process?
Yes.
Okay. So it's a point system, right, that the National Wildlife Federation has. And so there are different categories. And if I remember correctly, there are categories in the administration part, so which is, you know, we enter our information with the National Wildlife Federation. We create a group of people that are, you know, like a committee, the people who will, you know, go after certification points, who will organize the group and all that. So there are several administration points that we gathered. There's an education category. So Lisa created a website for us. That's part of our education points. Being at the farmers market, getting the word out was part of education points. What other?
There's outreach to things like, we already had the native garden growing and active, and the little free library and the educational signs there. So that counted, the demonstration garden. So things like that helped.
Yeah, so those all helped gather points for that category. Was it a government?
Registration.
Registration.
was one of them too,
So
That's the one I really want you to talk about. That was a big effort.
right, yeah.
On your
Partnering with a committee like yours and partnering with the village trustees was part of that category as well. Partnering with the schools, right? So a group of us approached the school board, make sure they're on board. Just yesterday, a group of you were at the Park District talking about this too, right? So we're engaging with several different organizations.
You know, I guess maybe I'm not being direct enough. How many homes did you have to get
that was the last
to
point I was
get
going to make.
certified?
Yes.
That's
So
the big
we needed
number.
150 points just for people getting their property certified. Each home gave us 1 point. And then each government entity or farm or, you know, another organization like that, a church,
Public area.
it was 3 points.
And then the schools got 5 points.
Right. So among many, many residents and several institutions, we ended up a little over 150 points.
Yeah.
But yes, when we started out, we already had a few.
We had 12 points.
12 points?
6 months ago, we had 12 points.
There you
And now
go.
we have
It was
over
a long
150.
When you guys came, you said
The community really rallied.
Yeah,
around
you
it.
said you needed 80 homes. So do you know how many homes you got? Like, I told all my neighbors. How many?
We've got 120 entities that got us 150 points. So there was probably 110 homes that were certified. Yeah.
That's great.
And we will need homes to continue to certify in order for us to recertify every year. So there will be-
Nice.
Yeah, so
That's
we
a
will
good
continue
plan,
to
isn't it?
Yeah, the outreach with that.
And so you did everyone had to be educated about how to become certified.
Absolutely. And for some people, it was a matter of, oh, I already have so many native plants, I can do this already. And some people thought, oh, my property would never qualify for this. And we started talking, and we said, well, you have a bird bath. Oh, you live in a place, there's a pond in the back. You already have a bird feeder. You leave your leaves. Yes, we do. Do you use your pesticides? No, we don't use pesticides. So you already qualify. So people got surprised and said, oh my gosh, I'm already doing so much. What else can I do then?
There you go.
Yes. So that was great education, going both ways, right? Bringing people
Right.
in who never even thought about it, and bringing people in who were already working on it and didn't think they even qualified.
Yeah.
And then I'm sorry, Maria.
No, that's
But it's-
exactly what I
but
was.
Just follow up on the, and I can't recall what the fee was, but I know there was an application fee then that people had to take money out of their pockets to do, and I think that just speaks so highly of your communication and the commitment of the community that you've got, 110 homes that not only were willing to go through the application process, but actually, I don't know if it was $30 or $60.
It was
$25.
$25.
But I mean, they
yes.
spent money to do the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we think about, electric leaf blowers are too expensive or this or that, no. I mean, people will do the right thing when you educate them and spend money of their own to do that. So I think there's a really interesting point there of how you were able to communicate that to people to get them so passionate that they would open up their wallets.
Yeah.
That's a really good point, too. Yes.
That's why the signage in a prominent place would make that connection. People know, oh, I did that, and then that sets the stage for next year,
Yeah.
Yes.
when more and more people have to do that.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. And the education continue, right? I was talking with a member of our group today about ideas for upcoming farmers market demonstrations that we're gonna have. In the sense of leave the leaves, we're gonna have a couple of little things there to call people's attention.
So
You
we have
might
to
wanna-
we have to make sure that Drew and Regis have the talking points, so the next mayors or meeting they have, which then gets documented in,
Yes.
the Tribune, and then it trickles down into the Lake Forest, whatever it is, little newspaper that comes out once a week. That story they have, that they can communicate that to the next roundtable or whatever they talk about.
Yeah, having the talking
That's-
points.
That's a great point, yeah. We can put a
Oh,
few
yeah.
talking points together,
We'd
for
love to get
sure.
that publicity. I mean, we started this because Highland Park was the second, we're only the third community in the state to get this designation. Highland Park was the second, we saw it in the Tribune, we saw, we could do this, and talked to the people in Highland Park and got us started.
Has Lake Forest been certified yet?
No, but we started talking to people there too. And we had a lot of people from Lake Forest coming to our farmer's market.
They'll be
And
nice.
they'd be apologizing, well, we're sorry, we're not in Lake Bluff, we can't, we're like, no, please, certify.
Go for it.
It's not
Yes.
just about the points, it's
Yeah,
about
right.
planting for wildlife.
Okay, thank you so much for
Thank
everything.
you.
Thanks for
thank
your
you
support.
very
Yes.
That really meant a lot.
Well, we're so lucky to have you in our community, so thank
That's
you.
right.
I'm gonna leave behind just a few of these folders that come from the National Wildlife in case anybody is interested in what we were giving out and whatnot.
Of course.
Sure.
Thanks for your
Okay,
time.
thanks.
Thank you.
Thank
Here's
you.
your,
A great meeting.
Can we hang on to this? Oh, good.
Okay, do you want? Okay, thanks.
Put this in there. I think that's the sign right there.
Yeah.
Put that there.
Okay, so back to general business. We have just the one item to discuss. Who's going to lead us to start this off, or you want me to jump in? Okay. So you got the summary letter here about the process. Obviously, we've discussed this and had presentations. If I had to put a number to it, I would say this is 95% done. So I think we could continue to work on that last 5% for the next month or two and work it. But I think that while we're doing that last little tweaking, I think that what we would like to do is to send this draft to the village board and get their initial impression in case there's anything that we need to work on in those, in addition to our last 5%, if there's something they bring up we didn't think about. So I think that is one item that we should vote tonight to pass this on to the village board. I can be present when this comes to the board if they want to ask questions, and open to the rest of the committee as well to be there. And then we can continue to have comments either tonight or over the next couple of meetings on any things that you want to see finalized or tweaked.
No, I mean, my opinion is we've looked at it a lot, and so there's a little bit left, but I'm really excited to move it along the
Yeah.
process and get this adopted,
Yeah.
hopefully sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
As a committee, we've worked on it for a long time.
Yeah, there's been a lot of work over the last 2 or 3 years, and I know that I'm very pleased with the comments from the expert that we hired, or the village hired. So, yeah, okay. Then can I get a motion to forward this draft to the village board for comment?
So moved, with enthusiasm.
With enthusiasm.
Second?
Second.
Okay, second. Do we need a roll call or all in favor? It's good.
Roll call.
Roll call?
All right. Member Busio?
Approve, agree.
Oh,
Send it to the village.
Aye.
yes.
Okay.
Member Hans?
Aye.
Member Twitchell?
Aye.
Member Mengelkock?
Aye.
And Chair Renner.
Aye. Okay. Just to open up, just in case there is anything, any comments, I think there's some things we just need to fill in with dates. I think we had a long discussion on the enforcement options, which could be a question that the village has. But I think that we've come up with a good balance. I'm really excited because I'm unaware of anything in the adjoining towns, a lighting ordinance like this, and this could be a model for the rest of the communities.
Catalyst.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did we, I know we talked about it, but what's our position on the grandfathering of, the time frame? I know it's still probably open, but that could be one thing that I think is the board may
Yeah, I'm
discuss about.
trying to remember, was it 5 years, 7 years? We were talking about a number at the
I
last,
think we,
yeah. That was the one little thing.
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Right. Right. I thought we brought it down.
Yeah,
to
we did.
Some compromise or
Yeah, we did.
something. I can't remember in our notes there.
Yeah, no.
And then the other interesting thing is I rarely use Facebook, but I use Facebook Marketplace just to look and buy stuff I don't need or sell stuff I don't need. Both ways. And it was on the Lake Bluff, Lake Forest, not what you sell, but what you're looking for recommendations. There was a couple of people saying, does anyone have a recommendation for an outdoor lighting company? We want to do this, blah, blah, blah. And there was a bunch of people that replied. So then I have to chime in, and I said, try and make sure that they are dark sky compliant. And I just wonder if we should, if we can, maybe do anything with that in there that we are, I don't know, forcing or recommending, because everyone's doing outdoor lighting, residential, outdoor lighting, up lighting, down lighting, across the houses, all that. And I just, think if we, there's a lot of people out there now that are in the business of doing that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we can recommend or enforce or just, that they're dark sky.
Well, I think going back to, once the village gives us comments and we're close to issuing it, this should go to all those lighting companies in the area. just like the leaf blower ordinance. They should get a copy, they should be notified and get on board with it. So if someone calls them and says, hey, do this, well, we can't do that. You know, that's prohibited, or we can do it, but we have to do it this way with controls and downlights and things of that nature.
Makes sense, Brian.
So that's a good point. We should, at some point, once the village comments get back, we're gonna have to talk about issuing this to all of those companies. I don't know which companies it is. A lot of the landscape
Yeah, a
companies,
lot
I
of
guess.
landscape things are getting into that. A lot of the electrical companies are doing it.
And actually, I know that was coming up too, was a discussion on licensing of landscapers with the leaf blower ordinance, right? That's,
Well, I was thinking about that with George's presentation. Then it would be a lot easier to send the letter if we had a registry.
right. But I think that, you know, in terms of if we're moving towards licensing people, which I think is a good idea, if we can, you know, manage it as a village, then it's easy to include these in the, okay, you want to get registered? Well, here, you better sign that you've read this.
You wrote it, yeah.
And just to answer your earlier question with the grandfathering, how this draft was written was non-residential properties would get discounts on building permits related to the lighting if they did it prior to 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah. And then for residential, it would only apply when they meet a certain project threshold. So they spend a certain amount to replace the fixtures or some other large project. I apologize.
Okay. All right. So we should probably, or we did the village staff report. Is there anything else we want to add on the village staff report? If not, maybe we'll do the members report. Does anyone want to bring up any reports, anything cool that they've heard or read about?
I don't know if it was cool, but we had a mosquito abatement
Good one.
spraying this last week.
Last week.
Yeah.
And there was a number of residents who, you know, were concerned about that. And some brought it to my attention, including my wife. And we were able to, through some duress, opt out of having the spray on our property entrance. But we had to go through Drew, and Drew was able to do that. But it came up as, I think, somewhat of a surprise. There was notice in the newsletter, but it was, and their justification for it was you know, they found a lot of incidents of West Nile-borne mosquitoes in their Lake County samplings, and you know, this was the first time in years, I think, that they wanted to do this. And so, you know, a lot of the same community that's concerned about bugs and birds and stuff like that, you know, we're just activated about, you know, is the need for this better than the risk of it to the environment and those types of things. And I just wondered if we should have been aware of that or involved a little bit more in that discussion, because it ties into a lot of other.
I think there was a report that the village is going to do that for maybe 2 more years and then stop. If I'm
Yeah, so
More
just
spring?
if I can talk about what you said, what you said is correct. The only thing I would say is that the positive test actually came from Lake Bluff specific traps.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
just one
Yeah.
small add-in to what you said, as well as the Lake County traps. And we contract with Clark Mosquito, and for the past 5 years that we've been doing that, we have not had to spray. And this was just one of those situations where for, I believe, 5 consecutive weeks, and we were waiting, it was we were finding more and more of the mosquitoes that had West Nile. And so at the county's recommendation, Lake County Health Department.
Yep.
That's why we tried to notify residents as best as possible.
Yeah, so I had on a list from Clark, at some point I must have signed up to get notified, but it didn't say due to West Nile detection, you know, it just said,
Oh, in the Clark
it just
ones?
said
Okay.
we're spraying in your area. So I shared that with I'm in Bath and Tennis Club, and shared that with my neighbor. All the responses were, ugh, or, oh, do they have to? Like, it was all really negative, or, oh no, I don't want my dogs near that stuff, and my kids were out at the pool, or, just whatever. So the community was not super enthusiastic, but I didn't have the West Nile, that there was some in Lake Bluff specific. But anyway, so communication would be probably good, especially if we could say it's really an unusual circumstance. We don't want to spray, but we don't want people to get sick.
We haven't sprayed, and this was an emergency, and we did it for a certain period of time because of West Nile, and then we're done.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, better communication.
Yeah, I would have liked to have been a better messenger than just saying they're spraying tonight, close your windows, don't breathe.
Has there ever been any discussion about getting back to registration? A lot of people hire private companies to come and fog their property, and there's no regulation on that. I mean, Clark is they're very well educated, they're very precise, they're very environmentally conscious, but there are a lot of other people who, and they've come to my house. They've come to my house and saying, we will spray for mosquitoes every month. They have people on, your neighbors are doing it, you can get a discount if you do it too. So that's another side of this. If you look at the big picture, is how do we educate people to
I
say,
feel like it's a refrain for us constantly is that we need to educate. So I
Yes.
think after however many years, we need to find a way to get the message out.
yes,
Because
we
the village
recognize-
newsletter is great, but it's obviously not reaching a lot of people. And I started seeing those mosquito mic or whatever it is signs.
Yes.
And we're in a drought. Like there were no mosquitoes
none.
till just a few weeks
Right.
ago. And people were spraying, probably got that weekly contract or whatever.
Yes.
And there were no mosquitoes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, sometimes the salespeople can convince someone or frighten someone.
or frighten them,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, education is something we talk a lot about, but I don't know if we've
We
come
we
up
haven't
with
got a plan.
come up
How
with a
can we do
plan.
that, though? How
It's,
can we say it, we know it's true, we need a plan, but then how do we actually take action to come up with a plan?
I think let's make that a separate item again, but
Yes.
I still think that a dedicated part of the website and then a mailing list just for just sustainability issues with people, but I don't know how the village board would feel about one coming from the village and then one coming from the sustainability committee and one coming from, but
I think it should come on the village's social media and all that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we should have a separate one,
But
we
it should be, the way to get updates in there regularly, like about the tree or about something else,
And linking it to seasons, like, holiday season, let's talk about holiday lighting and putting things on timers, or fall cleanup, leave the leaves, so if we associate it with seasons, because that's what landscapers do, that's what the sales guys do, they associate it with seasons, so if we can
I think
pair,
it would
just
be
a thought.
communications line item where
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
need to get someone who helps us.
Yeah, well, there's other things,
And these students would want a
Yeah.
role in there.
but I think that some of that will come under the enforcement and licensing.
Yes, yes, very
So.
much so.
I think the newsletters are great. Is there a way we can measure like how many people? I mean, I'm thinking of like news in general today, right? That, people are not getting their news the way I get my news. I still watch the TV news and I get a little bit on social media and things and email. But so many people aren't maybe in those channels as much as they were used to, so the newsletters are great, but I just wonder if people, are they opening up, are they looking at them? I don't know.
Yeah, our website actually does track that, and there's been an increase in e-news subscribers over time, and there is also that metric of how many people open it, and it really varies depending on time of year and topics, so.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't have a chair's report. So we'll wait for a second. You okay? All right.
A little bit of an asthma attack, so
Yeah.
it's
It's not been a good summer with the smoke and everything for asthma.
Really rough.
Yes.
I think it was the talk about the mosquito spray that got psychologically triggered something.
Probably did.
All right, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great
Thank
meeting.
you.
You guys.
Good meeting.